The airport was buzzing with the usual chaos of passengers checking in, announcements blaring through speakers, and the rhythmic sound of rolling suitcases. Among the travelers boarding Flight 742 to New York was Maria Thompson, a visibly pregnant woman in her third trimester. She held a first-class boarding pass in her hand, her feet aching from hours of walking. Maria had specifically booked a first-class seat months in advance to ensure comfort during the flight. But as she approached her assigned seat, a uniformed figure stepped in front of her, Samantha Lewis, the senior flight attendant. Samantha's sharp eyes scanned Maria from head to toe before offering a condescending smile. "Ma'am, I think you might be in the wrong section," she said, her tone dismissive. Maria politely held out her boarding pass. "I'm in 2A," she replied. Samantha's expression turned cold. "I'm sorry, but we have limited first-class seating. Perhaps economy would be more comfortable for you." Passengers nearby began to watch as the tension grew. Maria, confused and tired, explained she had paid for first class, but Samantha's refusal was unwavering. The flight was about to take off, but Maria had no idea that this journey would change everything. Maria, still maintaining her composure, took a deep breath. "There must be a mistake," she said. "I booked this seat well in advance." Samantha crossed her arms, her patience thinning. "We have high-paying clients in this section. We must ensure seating is appropriately allocated." Maria was stunned. "I am a paying client," she insisted, voice tinged with frustration. A well-dressed businessman in seat 3C, observing the situation, stood up. "If it's an issue, she can take my seat," he offered. Samantha forced a smile but shook her head. "I appreciate the gesture, sir, but we must follow protocol." Maria clenched her jaw. "This isn't protocol. This is discrimination." Nearby, a junior flight attendant, Emily, hesitated before stepping forward. "Maybe we should check with the captain," she suggested. Samantha shot Emily a glare. "I don't need a lesson on airline policy from a trainee." The passengers around them exchanged glances. Some whispered. Some recorded the exchange on their phones. Maria, feeling humiliated, decided to walk toward economy class. As she turned, a sharp pain gripped her stomach. She gasped, clutching her belly. A passenger in the back shouted, "She's in distress. Somebody help her." Samantha froze, unsure what to do. Emily, however, rushed forward to help Maria, kneeling beside her. "It's okay, ma'am. Take deep breaths." But before anyone else could react, a voice cut through the commotion. "Maria, are you okay?" A tall man from first class immediately stood up and hurried toward Maria. Passengers turned their heads in surprise as he removed his sunglasses. His presence commanded attention. Samantha's face drained of color. She suddenly recognized him. He was Daniel Carter, the CEO of the airline. He knelt beside Maria, holding her hand. "Are you in pain? Do you need a doctor?" Maria managed a weak nod. "I just need to sit down." Daniel's eyes flicked toward Samantha, his expression darkening. "Would you like to explain why my wife was just denied the seat she paid for?" Silence filled the cabin. Samantha's mouth opened and closed. She stammered, "Sir, I didn't know." Daniel exhaled sharply. "That's the problem. You didn't think. You assumed." Passengers murmured in shock. A few began whispering to each other. Maria, now seated comfortably, squeezed Daniel's hand. "I just want to get home." Daniel nodded before turning back to Samantha. "You've just embarrassed my wife and, by extension, this airline. What do you think that says about our brand?" Samantha swallowed hard, clearly realizing she had made a grave mistake. Emily, still kneeling beside Maria, hesitated before speaking up. "Sir, I tried to intervene." Daniel's expression softened as he turned to her. "I saw that. Thank you." Samantha, on the other hand, was visibly shaking. I was just following protocol." Daniel shook his head. "No, you were enforcing your bias." Still standing tall, Daniel made a call. "This is Daniel Carter. We need to address an issue with cabin crew behavior on Flight 742 immediately." A few minutes later, airport security entered the plane. Passengers held their breath as Samantha was escorted off the flight. Daniel then turned to Emily. How long have you been with this airline? Emily hesitated. Just under a year, sir. Daniel smiled slightly. You handled yourself well. I want you to report directly to HR when we land. I'm recommending you for a promotion. Emily's eyes widened in shock. Thank you, sir. Maria smiled at the young flight attendant. You made this easier for me. The passengers applauded as Maria finally relaxed in her rightful first-class seat. Daniel held Maria's hand, saying, no one should be judged based on their appearance. As the plane took off, Maria sighed in relief, squeezing Daniel's hand. She had experienced discrimination before, but this time, justice had been served. Daniel, looking out the window, spoke softly. An airline isn't just about planes. It's about the people on board and how they're treated. A voiceover narration. Respect should never be a luxury. How would you have handled this situation? The video ends with bold text on screen. Do you think Samantha got what she deserved? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more inspiring stories.